Hey guys, I'm finally back with another video, and today I want to show you how you can drastically improve your team fighting ability in League of Legends, and in a proper way, not just telling you get better mechanics, right, but actually give you kind of a plan that in just a few weeks time can really increase your team fighting ability and kind of widen your split vision as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So things that we will talk about in today's video are as follows: how to identify enemy threats, abuse these threats being on cooldown, how to plan ahead and in the same way kind of stop play purely on feeling, how to widen your team fighting knowledge and kind of stop missing out on game winning positions, right? So, League of Legends, right? League of Legends, this game will always require mechanics, and that's just the fact, that's just how the game is. And you can really only gain mechanics by playing more games. The more games you have, the better mechanics you will eventually have as well. This is all really obvious and straightforward, right? Obviously also as well, something that I cannot teach you through the screen. This is something that you have to do in your own time. But there are ways that we can improve your team fighting, and this is once again what we're gonna go through today. So first things first, right? We have to identify enemy threats in champion select. And I'm gonna show you kind of how to do this shortly, but in some games it's gonna be really straightforward. Malphite, he has an ulti, we have to flash it if he ults on us. In a lot of the times it's not gonna be as simple, but once we have identified these threats, we have to think about them. We have to think about them actively in the next team fights, and once again kind of making an active goal of improving this, not just going into the game with, oh, I'm just gonna play well in team fights, right? Once we have done these team fights, we have to review our games with this goal in mind, and this is how we improve our kind of split vision in fights and are able to start kind of keeping track of these cooldowns, not just identifying them and just getting on with our lives, right? When we repeat this for, it doesn't have to be specifically 3 weeks, but just something like this, we will see a massive team fight improvement and split vision ourselves, and we will start to see how we can use these things and make way more proactive decisions in team fights and not just stand in the backline kind of shooting attack speed, out attacks from max range rather. So what's a threat and how do I identify it? Here I'm playing Seri, and as you can see, enemy team, they pretty much have CC all across the board on every single champion that they have. So I have to play really safe in this game. So by starting off, right, I have to go from top to bot. I have Zac here. I see that obviously we're gonna have to dodge his E, right? This is really straightforward. We also have to dodge his Q. If we can keep track of these two abilities, we can start to play a bit more up once these abilities are on cooldown. It's really hard for him to hit ulti on us if he doesn't hit either E or Q, right? Then it's just impossible for him. For Viego, it's basically just his stun, right? His ulti I'm not too afraid of, because if he only hits his ulti on me and nothing else, if I'm not low HP, I'm just not gonna care, right? For Singed, it's a little bit trickier. Obviously I have to dodge his little pool, so I cannot flash, and if he tries to Predator and it flashes on me and tries to fling me, I know already in champ select that I have to instantly flash this. This is the ability that I have to flash, because there is literally no counterplay if I don't have my flash up, right? Moving on, Seraphine, really straightforward here as well, just the ultimate. Obviously the root as well, but that's really hard for me to get hit by in this game, I think. I can dodge the ultimate either by E-ing it. If I have to flash it, it's really bad, because then Singed will be able to flash on me, right? So I really want to keep my flash for Singed. For Seraphine, it's a little bit easier. If she hits her W on me, it's really slow, right? It's really hard for me to get hit by this. I have to really mess up my position to be able to get hit, right? The later we kind of go into this, when you really start to keep track of these things on the enemy team, we can also start to looking at our own team, right, and see kind of what tools our own team has to kind of negate some of these abilities. But this is something that I will get into later in this video. So now we have identified things. So moving on to the first example, right? This is not the same game as I just showed you. I just wanted to show you kind of how you can identify threats and kind of identifying as well what abilities you're gonna have to flash, etc, etc. In this game, it's a lot easier for me to play, let me be honest with you. I'm playing against Warwick. That's literally pretty much the only CC that they have. I can't really get hit by anything else. I mean, they have a Lulu and Seri and Yasuo, and they don't really have any knockups on the team, so I don't really have to worry about Yasuo. If he gets into my face, I have a lot of tools in my team with Karma and Jarvan. They can P me really well. Also, enemy jungle is Shaco. So, once again, literally, I already know from loading screen that if I can just dodge Warwick's ulti with my flash or with my E, I can just completely take over the team fight afterwards. And I will show you here that I know this already, right? So once Warwick gets kind of low HP, I'm already walking up and kind of baiting him to go onto me, because I know that I have the flash. And as long as I flash that ability, I don't have to worry about anything else, and I can completely play super aggressive afterwards, right? So here, Warwick is actually pretty low as well. They're kind of giving us a freebie here, but they will take it, right? I'm baiting him here, and I just know, maybe I didn't even have to flash that ability, right? I was a bit unsure, maybe I could just dodge it with my E, but I just want to be safe, and I don't need my flash in this team fight, unless it is for Warwick ulti, which is why I just decided to flash it regardless. And I already know now that the team fight is just instantly over. They can't really touch us after this. The Drake is gonna be ours, and if they try to go even more on us, I will just be continuing to play aggressive, play kinda in their face, and not really worry about their damage output, right? Because if I mistake my position a lot, then I can die. But I just know if they give me an opportunity to just run at them, I will take it, because I'm playing Caitlyn. I have 3, almost 4 items at this point. I'm really strong, and their only form of CC, which was Warwick ulti, is already gone. So after this, I can just play however aggressive as I want. We get the Drake, I get a double kill, and the teamfight just ends there. So here we are in the same game. It's just a little bit later. I'm currently sitting at 5 items, and I'm really strong, right? And I once again know that if Warwick ever uses his ulti, I don't have to play respectfully. I can be in people's faces. I don't have, obviously I'm not gonna walk in melee range, right? But I'm gonna play to my range. I can dish out autos whenever I see fit, and they can't really touch me in this game. And even here we see I'm just planning on basing, but they use all their tools on Ryze already. I still have my flash up, so here I just know I can play super far up, right? My team goes in for me, and no one can really hit me at this point, so I don't even have to play at max range. Obviously this fight goes south really fast for enemy team once they realize that we don't actually have any tools to deal with any one of them, and somehow I just end up receiving a penta. This was actually my first penta of the season. Not that flashy or impressive at all, right? But I just want to kind of show you that in this game it's really easy for me to identify that I can play super far and aggressive once Warwick uses his ultimate. In other games it's not gonna be as easy, right? So how do we review the team fights that we had in the game, and with what kind of mindset should we have going into it? And that is really simple and straightforward. It doesn't have to take more than 5 to 10 minutes. You just go through all the fights one by one and kind of looking at it as if, did I miss anything? Did I miss any tools that were used by the enemy team that I could have taken advantage of? Let's say, for example, that you're playing against a Blitzcrank and the Drake fight is coming up and you are really respecting him, but you didn't pay attention to the fact that earlier, just 7 seconds earlier, he tried to use the hook on someone in your team, but he missed. So that's just kind of looking out for tools like this. Obvious ones are gonna be those big ultimates like the Ornar, like the Malphite ulti, but these ones I think is kind of hard to miss out on. I think most of the time we probably have a pretty good sense of what ultimates have been used or not, but these kind of smaller abilities like the Nautilus hook, the Leona E for example, the Amumu Q, or you know, tools like this, this is what I want us to kind of look for in these fights. Did we miss anything? Because it's hard a lot of the times. When we are in these team fights, we are not thinking about anything else than just surviving and trying to dish out as much damage as possible. So it's not hard to miss abilities that were used. But if we can kind of switch that and start identifying what threats have been used or not, it's gonna be a lot easier for us in the next upcoming teamfights in your future games to be able to identify what abilities have already been used and what abilities can or cannot kill you. So once we have identified enemy threats, we have played the teamfights with this goal in mind, we have reviewed the teamfights as well and kind of widened our split vision in fights and also our ability to make proactive decisions based on these threats being on cooldown. We can keep evolving our fights by starting to identifying tools that your own team has that can deny enemy threats. Right? This is kind of taking it a step further, but once if you do both of these and you have a good sense of both of them, you're gonna be able to really skyrocket your teamfighting ability. And this could be something as simple as obviously Braum Shield to like deny Ornult, or maybe like a Yasuo wall, but also things like, you know, you have a Karma speed to speed you from getting hit by that Blitzcrank hook, or you have Zillion that can also speed you. You know, the possibilities are kind of endless, but if we can do this both kind of simultaneously, we are gonna be able to really improve our team fighting even more. And obviously Malphite as well can tank Ashar, you know, kind of identifying what tanks you have on an enemy team that can kind of take the bullet for you, so to speak, and kind of stand behind them. And speaking of standing behind them, I kind of want to show you a clip from Heretic's AD carry that I found from him playing solo queue just really recently, and he's doing this really well, right? In this clip, he doesn't really have a tank in his team, but it doesn't really matter. He just needs a body to kind of block for him. So here the Kled ulti comes in. You see how he instantly tries to walk into his Karma, because even if Karma gets hit, she can try to either flash out of it afterwards, and as long as Jack Spectre doesn't tank it to the face, he's gonna be able to kill this Kled, because now Kled's tools are almost all kind of gone, right? So he keeps fighting like this, he keeps spacing, but he's still playing kind of respectfully. He's just trying to hit whatever target he can in the front, right? And this is where it all kind of changes. You see how he instantly tries to dodge the Kanar. This is just him having good mechanics, right? He responds to this very well, but then he realizes, oh, Kayn just used his whole combo, his whole rotation, and his ultimate on Graves, so he doesn't have anything left in his arsenal, right? He also noticed that Soraka was low, Kai'Sa was pretty low, Kled is low too, so now it's really up to him to just take over the team fight. He's really fed, so now he knows they don't have any tools. He just decides to flash after this Kayn, and while he can for sure play this better mechanically, I think you can all see the kind of mindset that he's playing with. He identified that Karma can tank the Kled ulti for him, and once he saw that Kayn used all of his abilities on Grace, he just went completely nuts mode, and in this case, it didn't really work out in his favor. He traded 1 for 1, but in another time, if you can use this really well, you can really start to play super more aggressive in your team fights and have a lot more agency. As per usual, so much information in one video, I know. I hope you can take some value out of this, and I really do believe in trusting the process on this one. I really think that if you make this an active goal of yours to improve your team fighting in just the next couple of weeks, I really think it can go a long way. But you need to make the effort and take the time to do these steps and follow them, and I really think that you will be able to kind of slow down a bit in your team fights as well, and kind of recognize that, oh, now this ability was used, so why should I play scared? I can just walk up a bit, and now this ability was used as well on my teammate, and now this Ash arrow comes in my face as well, which I have to flash, but finally all of these tools are gone, so then I can just take over the team fight, right? Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and obviously like and subscribe if you enjoy the content and want to see more like this. I also do personalized coaching on my coaching Discord, which I will link in the description, and without anything else to say really, have a really good day, and I'll see you guys soon.